Hi everyone, this is Annie Jennifer, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce, St. Josephs College of Arts and Science for Women, Hosur. So today we'll see the topic kinds of joint stock company. So types of companies. First one on the basic of incorporation. In this we have three kinds of basic of incorporation companies. First one, chartered company. Such companies are incorporated under a royal character issued by the king or queen or head of the state. Such companies have exclusive rights, power and privileges under the royal character. Example, East India Company, Bank of England. Second one, statutory companies. Such companies are formed under the special act passed by the parliament or state legislature. The power which can be exercised by such companies are defined by the act that constitute them. Example, Reserve Bank of India, State Bank of India, Life Insurance Corporation. Third one, registered companies. A company incorporated under the Indian Companies Act 1956 is called registered company. The powers exercised by such companies are defined by the Companies Act and Memorandum of Association. A registered company can be a private company or public company. Next one on the basic of liability of its member. First one, company limited by shares. The liability of members is limited to the extent of the unpaid value on shares. Such company may be a private company or public company. Companies limited by guarantee. Members guarantee to pay a fixed sum of money at the time of liquidation of the company for the payment of company's liabilities. Such companies are formed without a share capital for non-trading purpose, dependent on entrance and subscription fees as they do not have share capital. Unlimited companies. The liability of members is unlimited. In the event of winding up of company, the private property of member can be used to pay the debts of the firm. Due to the high risk involved, such companies are not found in India. Next one on the basis of membership. Private limited company. A private limited company is the one which by its article it limits the maximum number of members to 50, minimum begins 2. Place some restrictions on the transfer of shares. Prohibits any invitation by prospectus or otherwise to the general public to subscribe to any of its shares or debentures. A private company must use the word private limited after its name. Next one, public limited company. It must have at least 3 directors. 1/3 of directors are permanent and 2/3 are subject to retirement by rotation, out of which 1/3 retire every year. Shares can be freely transferable in a public company. In case of public company, statutory meeting is compulsory. On the basis of ownership. So, first one, government company. A company which is not less than 51% of paid up share capital is held by the central government and or by any state government or partly by the central government and partly by one or more state government. Follows provisions of Indian Companies Act 1956. Example, Hindustan Machine Tools, Oil and Natural Gas Commission, etc. Foreign company. A foreign company which is registered in one country but carries out its operation in India. Holding company. A company which controls another company by holding a minimum of 51% of shares and thereby controlling the composition of the board of the company. Subsidiary company. A subsidiary company in which another company holds a minimum of 51% of share capital. That is, holding company is also known as a subsidiary company. Now we will see the difference between private and public limited company. Private limited company and public limited company, its members. So in private, the minimum members should be 2, maximum 50. But in case of public limited company, minimum members should be 7, maximum members should be unlimited. Formation. Comparatively simple, certificate of incorporation is adequate. Comparatively difficult as the procedure is lengthy. Number of directors. In case of private company, it should be 2 directors. In case of public, it should have 3 directors. Then transfer of shares. In case of private limited company, it is not freely transferable. But in case of public company, it can be easily transferable. Issue of prospectus. In case of private limited company, it is allowed to issue the prospectus, but in case of public company, it can issue the prospectus. Commencement of business. In case of private company, it can start the business after the receipt of certificate of incorporation. It requires a certificate for starting business in case of public company. Name suitability. In case of private company, it's suitable for all the small scale business, but public limited company, it is suitable only for the large scale business. Then invitation for private company, it cannot invite public to subscribe for the securities of the company. But in case of public, it can invite the public to purchase the securities of the company. Then allotment. In case of private company, it can allot shares immediately after incorporation. But in case of public company, shares cannot be allotted unless minimum subscription is collected. Then qualification of shares in private company, the directors need not hold qualification shares. But in case of public, the directors have to purchase some qualification shares to become the directors. Directorship. In case of private company, there is no restriction on the number of directorship. But in case of public company, a director should be a director cannot be a director of more than 20 companies. Then quorum. In case of private company, 2 members present in the meeting is a quorum at general meeting. In case of public company, 5 members should present in the meeting as a quorum at a general meeting. Joint stock company specific to the Indian context. There are 3 types of company: private limited company, public limited company, and government company on the basis of ownership. 2 types of company, Indian and foreign, on the basis of nationality. So, private limited company can be formed at least 2 individuals having minimum paid up capital of not less than 1 lakh rupees. Total membership of these companies cannot exceed 50. Shares allotted to its members are also not freely transferable between them, and it is not allowed to raise money from the public through open invitation. It required to use private limited after their names, example, Combined Marketing Service Private Limited, Indian Publisher and Distributors Private Limited, etc. So, that is what private limited company. Next, public limited company. It requires minimum of 7 members and there is no restriction on maximum number of members. It must have minimum paid up capital of 5 lakhs. Shares allotted to the members are freely transferable. It can raise the funds from the general public through open invitation by selling its shares or accepting fixed deposit. It requires to write either public limited or limited after their names. Example, Hyundai Motors India Limited, Steel Authority of India Limited, etc. Next one, government company. The government, either a state or central government or both, holds a majority of share capital that is not less than 51%. A company having less than 51% shares holding by the government can also be called government companies provided control and the management lies with the government. Examples, Mahindra Telephone Nigam Limited, Bharat Heavy Electricals Limited, etc. Next one, Indian company. A company having business operation in India and registered under Indian Companies Act 1956. A company may be formed as a public limited company, private limited or government company. Foreign company. A company formed and registered outside India having business operation in India. So next the assessment. So from this class what you have understood, just I have given you a question. You can answer in a comment box. Thank you.